how would society keep running without men doing the infrastructure jobs like logging, fishing, trucking?
Oh, do you mean like in the world wars when men left and women took over those positions and we ran the entire country and took over the jobs that you say that we couldn't do?
No, they didn't take over the majority of the jobs.
We did.
They did. They took over factory positions.
Mm-hmm. We took over the positions that men left.
They were not doing the electrical. They were not doing the plumbing. They were not building the buildings. They were not.
There
paving
are women
the roads.
electricians. There are women plumbers. Like there are females in all of these positions. There are.
Is it the majority?
No, because
okay, so
historically,
it's not the majority.
Because you have to take into the historical perspective.
What is stopping a woman today from being a plumber and electrician?
As I said, discrimination.
Wow.
Why there's
hostile workplaces? Because they are made to feel as if they don't belong in those spaces. And why would you want to exist in a space where you're constantly made to feel like you shouldn't be there by the men in those positions? So men will make women feel like they don't belong there and then complain that women aren't there. So
what's your evidence for that?
What's my evidence
for
that?
What's your evidence for that?
Oh, they've studied it. They've studied like workplace discrimination.
With women in electrical.
In male-dominated fields, yeah.
And they've said that the women feel like they're not wanted.
Yes.
And that's why they're not doing it.
Not just not wanted, not welcome.
That's very convenient. You know, here's the thing. Men don't care if they're not welcomed. They don't expect people to just accept them into a group like women do. Because again, men live in the real world. Women do not. We live in this play pretend world where we're given more credit for what we actually do than we do.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen you speak many times about the detrimental effects that all of these things have on men's mental health and that they have a higher rate of suicide, they have all these things. And so I think that it's really interesting that you care a lot, seemingly, about men's mental health. But then at the same time, you'll say, oh, men don't care if you're mean to them. Men don't care if they're not welcomed. You say all of these things that have an impact on men's mental health. So I think to care about one, you have to recognize how it impacts the other.
What I'm saying is men understand that that's the real world, and they know there's nothing they can do to change that. Women go into a man's world and they expect to be given special treatment and privileges. They expect to be the new guy in a company and feel welcome. It's not abnormal for men to haze somebody in a new group. You might say that's wrong, but it's not abnormal, and they don't complain, they don't strike, they don't protest. They just accept it, and they accept the world as it is instead of doing a wish list that will never become true.
I mean, do they really accept it, and are they really okay with it when the statistics behind men's mental health proves that it does impact them? They just internalize it. Women make sure that we prioritize empathy and communication. So when we feel like we're not being welcomed, when we feel like we're being wronged, we want to improve the communication to improve the circumstance.
We're better at complaining.
I would say we're better at communication.
We're better at complaining about the stuff we don't like, where men don't complain. That's what I said.
Right. They don't complain because they internalize it. And then instead they just unalive themselves. That's not
they
a
don't
proper
complain
coping
because
strategy.
The world doesn't give them sympathy. Young women get a ton of sympathy on the internet complaining about their problems. It's why they're given 10 times the funding for breast cancer research instead of prostate cancer. It's because people care about women's issues. People do not care about men's issues.
I disagree.
Why?
Why do I disagree?
You could say you disagree, but that's not an argument.
I mean, your arguments are just like, oh, that's silly and I live in reality. Like, you're not giving me any realistic responses either.
Well, I'm giving you realistic responses. I said men do the majority of infrastructure jobs. They're the majority of workplace deaths. And so based on those two stats, they have a harder work environment and they complain less.
Yeah.
If you look at the industries that strike and complain, it tends to be female-dominated industries because women are better at complaining.
No,
they want to do less of the work and they want more of the credit.
We care about how we're treated, as men should care how they're treated. And they do care, they just internalize it. Just because they don't take action doesn't mean that they don't care.
Anyway, this lady is just making me laugh. You know, I love how calm Pearl is. I love how she just, handle this lady, bring out key points on what we go through. You understand? Sometimes people, when a man speaks, it seems like, because he's a man, so he's saying things to side men. But when you see a woman that have seen what men are going through and speak for men, you know that, yes, I think this woman has maybe a dad figure at home that has, taught her, or she has witnessed this man go through hell, to provide for them. And I think that is what I'm seeing right here. I don't know. Well, this is actually my first time reacting to Pearl, and I don't really know much about her. But with what I'm seeing and her level of confidence in how she speaks, I feel like she has a good home. You understand? But this is just mind-blowing. It shows how the world sees men. You understand? They see men and this strong set of individuals that have everything figured out. Sometimes the fact that we don't speak does not mean everything is okay. Sometimes we go through hell every day just to provide, but we come back and smile, because when you come back with the angry face, with the stress from your workplace, you end up starting another war at home. So the best thing is we live our stressful day in our workplace, and when we come back home, we try to just bring another face entirely, try to smile for the kids, smile for the wife, and just to make them happy. And there is no one limiting any lady from performing any task. I think back then I hardly see Uber drivers, like female Uber drivers. But right now, it's like in my country, I see like a whole lot of women venturing into that field. And that was a field, that 100% of the drivers were men. And now women are going into that field and no one is stopping them. I'm just surprised, like no one is stopping them. They are all allowed to do it. So how do we deprive ladies from like doing this engineering work, construction work, and whatsoever? If you can do it and you prove beyond reasonable doubt that you can do it, I think no one is going to argue that role with you. This is the same thing that is happening in NBA, whereby the female want to be treated like male, but you can't sell tickets the same way male are selling tickets. And you want to, have the same bonuses, the same this and that. No, you have to put in the work. So if male are putting in the work, the organizers are seeing the results. They're going to increase their bonuses because they're putting in the work. Well, I think maybe they need to find a way to spice in NBA for female. When I see ladies playing football, formally I don't really enjoy it because it's not my thing. But of late, when I watch ladies playing ball, I'm marveled. Like, their skills alone is just mind-blowing. I know they can't play as good as men, but when you watch, I'm actually surprised. Like, I'm seeing how good they are becoming. That is it. I feel what a man can do, a woman can do. And there is no one stopping anybody from achieving anything or from performing any task. So stop making it look like male or men are trying to take the work or prevent you guys from achieving, or you feel like you both are both performing the same tasks and you are less paid. You're only less paid when you put in or you deliver less results. Just like the NBA, if you pay and you're able to sell more tickets, you get more bonuses. When you're not able to do that, you get less bonus. That is how the world works. Just like you are into marketing and you are being paid for as many goods that you sell. You won't get angry because someone is selling more goods than you and they're paying the person more. You have to go there, re-strategize, put in the work to do better than the person, and you get more pay. The world is as simple as ABC, so stop complicating it.